Hi everyone, my name is Blake and I love music. I hope you're all doing well. Today we are going to discuss the new album from pop and R&B artist Steve Lacy titled Oh Yeah? This is his third album. It's the first that I have listened to all the way through personally. It's hard to deny, I mean, Steve Lacy, fairly well-known artist, had a large influence in the last decade or so. You know, he's produced some songs that I really love, such as Pride by Kendrick Lamar, Jet Fuel by Mac Miller, along with some others. Those are like some songs I really love. But like I said, I don't have a whole lot of experience with Steve's music, either his solo stuff or with the internet. I'm just gonna get right into it with this one. I am not a fan of this album, straight up. Spoiler alert, just telling you right off the bat, I'm not a big fan of this. I didn't have a huge expectation going into it because, like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with his discography, but I absolutely loved the song The Feeling that he dropped as a single probably about like a month ago. It's like one of my top 5 songs of the year, probably my favorite like R&B song of the year. It's amazing. Sadly, there is not another song on this album that comes close at all to touching it, like not even close. The opener, which is also the title track, is easily my favorite song on here besides The Feeling. I guess it probably is the closest in quality. It's got like this noise rock type of vibe, and there's like this come on come on come on that's repeated, that's really infectious. It's just got a really nice vibe to it, and I like some of the lyrics on the song as well, which is, the lyrics are probably the biggest issue I have in the writing with this album. We'll talk about that. But one kind of bar I did like from the song is the life's a bitch and then you live again. That actually comes up again later on the album on at least one other song, on Nice Shoes. And that's just one of the standout. You know, I wanted to point out a little bit of good writing on this album before we get to some bad. The Feeling, which I kind of mentioned at the beginning, is the other standout song on here for me. The writing is really good, even though it's kind of funny. I thought, like, listening to the song for the longest time, that during the chorus he was saying, "Am I a pick me?" When he's like, "Am I a pick me?" instead of "Am I your baby?" I did not hear that right. It's a great like yearning song. Like, this whole album is for yearners, straight up. Like, but beyond these 2 tracks, the writing is just really subpar. I want to just hit you all with a few bars that just kind of took me out of this whole album experience. One of them is actually from The Feeling. When we fucked on your rug, had me floating like Aladdin. Hard to smile because I had the coochie stuck in my teeth. That's kind of iconic. Just crazy. I'm a big baby sucking on big titties. And now we fuck until it brings world peace. And then one of my favorites, it's repeated over and over near the end, I can't remember what song it is, but blah 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 blah, shut the fuck up. That just goes on for like a minute. And look, I'm not a prude. I listen to like plenty of music with sexual lyrics, and I enjoy a lot of music that has that kind of content. But there's just something about the writing on this album particularly, it feels like when you're talking to someone who claims to be a great communicator and then just they overshare without like any filter. To be honest, I kind of do that sometimes. My bad. But I think for a certain type of personality, you may really enjoy this album. And keep in mind, like, I'm genuinely am saying this without an ounce of judgment. If you do love this album, but me and this album personally, I'm not compatible. This is not for me. If you're like a very like horny person, like a horny yearner, you will love this album probably. But there's also just, I don't know, there's a lot of sentiments that Steve expresses on this album that I actually relate really heavily to, about like, I don't know, like anxious attachment, things like that. But the writing is so poor that I just felt absolutely no emotional connection to the music, like, whatsoever. I don't know, there's a lot more I could say about this album, but I was honestly just really disappointed. and it, it kind of left me like in a bad mood after I was done listening to it. Like it fucked up my vibe for the rest of the night after I was done listening to it. And made me like just emotionally kind of feel whack. Like I said, I don't have anything against you if you love this album, and I don't really have anything against Steve either for making it. I believe he's a talented producer, which he does show his production chops on this album. It's overall pretty solid. I do want to just give a random shout out to the end of the song Show You Me, where he just sounds like a cat for the last like minute or so, like he's meowing. That was pretty cool. But solid production and like 2 really great songs isn't enough for me to rate this any higher than a 3.5 out of 10. Leonard, of course, has some thoughts on this album that he would love to share. He wrote, "I can't relate to this album because it hasn't been a while since I've had coochie in my teeth." And he also said, "This album got me feeling some type of way, LOL," and then the little colon with the P, like the tongue out. And he rated it 200,000 Scoville, like peppers. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.